Hi y'all, this is Becky with Wild Star Farm and Feathers, and I have some little brand new ducklings here. These are white crested ducks, and what I'm going to be doing today is building a mess-proof brooder box for them. They still need heat and need to be protected from predators. These were not hatched here, these were purchased because I'm a sucker, and they're one of my favorite breed of ducks. And so I need to build them a brooder. I have found a foolproof way of making a brooder that will not be a ton of work and not be very stinky. Ducks are, for lack of better words, extremely messy little critters, and they need food near their water. They need water in order to eat and digest and chew up their food. They're an aquatic poultry, and so they need to have access to water. If you give them a little drinker full of water, in 10 minutes, if left to their demise, the water will be gone. They're not drinking at all, they're playing in it, they're trying to get their noses wet, their nares, the little holes in their beaks wet, and they require the water in order to eat. So I'm going to be making a brooder today that is so cute. That is very, very easy to maintain and very easy to clean, and will keep bedding and keep your ducklings healthier and happier and cleaner than if a traditional brooder. So in a regular brooder, you would have a container of some sort, a wood box or a tote, a heat source, and food and water and some kind of bedding. Most people use shavings. That is what I'll be using today. I have used chopped straw, and it also makes an excellent bedding. But what tends to happen is when they're drinking or just playing in their water, they splash it everywhere and they get their bedding soaking wet, and then they poop in the bedding, which, so poop and water mixed together is terribly smelly and disgusting, and now your bedding is ruined for the day. And like I said, they can do that in about 10 minutes. Give them a whole day and their brooder will be annihilated, and it'll be time to change it again. I have come up with a way to have a fairly easy time of cleaning their pen, and it keeps them cleaner and smell less for longer periods of time. So I'm gonna hurry and get to it, since I just let them come out and get a little bit of fresh air, but they do need to go back to their heat source. So I'm gonna go ahead and build it. What I'm using this time here is a large plastic tote, and I do have a lid for it, although I don't necessarily need it because ducks are too small to fly at this point, and even when they get close to fully feathered, oh, you escaped, you better get back in there, they can't fly out like it. 3 to 4 weeks for a chick, they'll start flying up and perching on the edge of it, so you'll want the lid on it. I don't necessarily need the lid for this brooder, but I do have one made, and basically all I did here was cut off 1/3 of the end of it. Maybe it's probably about, yeah, it's about 1/3, not quite 1/4 end of it, and poked holes in it. You can use a heated up ice pick. Excuse me, where are you going? You want to come see what we're doing? You can come out, don't go far. And I just used wire to hinge it back together and also secure the chicken wire. I then cut out the inside section of the whole rest of the lid and put a piece of chicken wire over it and secured it with more wire. What you'll also need, you guys check that out, yeah, that's your new house, that's your roof, is an old pan. This one was just an old kitchen pan. It's been rusting from being used so many times and sitting outside all winter. But you can use a heavy-duty Tupperware type plastic pan. You wouldn't want one of the disposable aluminum pans because the sides will be not supportive enough to do what you need it to do. Also, the main awesome function of this pan is to contain all of their liquid that they spill when they're playing in their waters. You'll be able to just take this out in one fell swoop and keep their bedding clean. So if you were to pick up an aluminum pan, it would just bend in half and you'd destroy your brooder in a second with nasty water. So anything with substantial side. It doesn't have to be something shorter than this wouldn't last very much longer, depending on how often you're filling their waters. But you certainly, this is a fairly decent size. You can get one deeper. You just have to make your bedding deeper. So literally, all I'm going to be doing is putting this. I have to do it this way. In one end of the brooder, and it will leave an end for bedding on this side. These are technically made for rabbits. Pretty awesome. They're sturdy. They don't bend too bad. They'll support the weight of the ducklings even as they grow. And I found that this one fits two over it perfectly, and I can even push it to the end so nobody will get stuck off the end. So just in case you aren't able to find those awesome rabbit cage plastic landing pads, as I call them, it just gives those rabbits softer footing underneath their feet instead of just sitting on wire. You can make the top of your pan for your duck brooder a grate like this out of this welded wire, which is called hardware cloth, and I have found it at the big box stores, the big home improvement stores, in their garden department. And you want the one with the super small squares because ducklings have little itty bitty feet, and unfortunately it does come on a roll, and so you might be buying more than you need, but you can use it in the future for other projects, I'm hoping. But if you were to get this, it's going to be on a roll and it's going to be bent. So obviously you would measure out the size of your pan, whether it be the plastic or a metal pan, and you would just cut with wire cutters out the size of the top of your pan. I would make it at least an inch bigger on either side so that it doesn't fall in and it overlaps a little bit. And then you can bend down these sharp points for making sure that you cut right on this straight end so there is no sharp points. And then it will want to go back into its windy round shape from being in the roll. So you can just try bending it back the other direction, or actually securing it to the top of your pan with, say, zip ties or pieces of wire so that it holds it flat. Mainly though, if you bend it back the other direction, it should work to flatten it out pretty good to work as a top grate. So I went ahead and just added my bedding there on the end, past the end of the pan. And what I'll do here is just go ahead and put their food and water. They found their food and water. Well, they found their water. They found the water. Yeah. So let's go ahead and put their water. That's all you have to do is just put their food and water over the grated area, and anything that they come here, baby, splash and play in will end up down in that pan. And then when you're ready to change it out, you just take the grates off, take your water out, take your food out, and you just take the pan out, and you will have way less mess. You won't have to change and clean out their brooder every day like you normally would. Come here, babies. Yeah, tell them, come here. Come on, babies. Come on. Hey, duckas. Come on. Come on. Yeah. You hear your sibling? Yeah, come on. Yeah. Come see your new house. Come see your new house. Night, babies. So that's pretty much it. That's how you would make a duckling brooder. Super easy to clean, way less smell. You just take the grates out and dump your pan and replace it and give them fresh bedding way less often and way less smell. If you enjoyed this video, or if you want to learn some more about some poultry tricks and tips, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and come back and watch another video. Thanks for watching.